मंगलाचरण ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So I think last week all of you have seen till verse number 15, and what we need to see today is from verse number 16 to total we have around 43 verses in this chapter, Karma Yoga. And this chapter has 43 verses. First verse 1 and 2 speaks about Arjuna's confusion whether one should renounce work or one should act. Because Krishna in 2.49 says, Duram hi avaram karma. Please keep away sinful activities away from your life. So Arjuna is confused once again. And therefore he's thinking, whether should I fight or should I stay away from papaha? And then in 3 to 9, Krishna explains him in the answer for first and second question. He asks, if you think buddhi is better than karma, why do you want me to fight? So that is a question Arjuna puts in front of Krishna. And Krishna replies to him. Two types of people, Jnana yogis who renounce work and Karma yogis who do prescribed work. Jnana yogis, they speculate, they are on the layer of mind and they are above karma, and therefore they stay away from karma. But the Karma yogis, their yoga is karma and therefore they have to do it. And there is a prescribed duty according to a person. So that is what is mentioned in third verse. Fourth and fifth verse speaks about premature renunciation of work is not recommended because inaction is unnatural. A small child who wants to play, who wants to run here and there, hither and there, pillar to post, just because there is some spiritual discourse going on in the home, you cannot put him on room and block it. He'll keep on banging it. So best thing is you engage him, tell him that okay, today there is spiritual discourse going on and tonight there's going to be a big celebration. Give him some paper, give him some knife, and give him some scissor, which is not hazardous to his health, by which he will not cause any pain, and ask him to cut it in a particular fashion, show him, teach him, and engage him. So engagement is very important for a child. So if you ask him to sit down in pravachan and hear, he'll simply keep on, sitting on the lap of the father, going to mother, trying to pull her hairs, trying to go and pat on father, trying to tell him, okay, get up, take me outside, and all those things. So best way is give him an engagement which he loves to do. That is what Krishna is saying to Arjuna. Premature renunciation of work is not recommended because inaction is unnatural. Therefore, the child has to be engaged. It cannot sit silent. But the adult can sit silent because he knows the value. He knows the importance of attending Bhagavad Gita class. So 6 to 9, if prematurely we renounce, we may do it not in public but in private. A pretender, Dharmadvaja. A pretender externally renounces work but internally dwells on sense objects. Better perform prescribed work for Vishnu and avoid bondage. And therefore, as an example of a pujari who has Shaligram Shila and just thinking who is going to come and offer me nuts, badam, and other things. But the Shaligrama is Lord himself, not different from Vishnu, but he takes the Shaligrama to break the nuts. So he may pretend to worship it in front of everyone, but when the door closes, he takes the same Shaligram because not who is going to go and bring stone from outside. He takes that. 10 to 11 verse speaks about this is a section. So Niskama Karma Yoga is better for Arjuna than premature renunciation. That is Jnana Yoga. That is discussed from 3 to 9. 10 to 16 speaks about one is attached to doing his duty. Everyone is very selfish. Selfishness means karma kand. I will do this if I'm getting some profit. I'll not do this if I don't get any profit. Why should I work and somebody else take a salary? Why should I work? Somebody takes a promotion. But I'll work it if I get something in it. There is something in it for me. What is in it for me? That is a mood of karma kand. So Krishna tells, yes, every living entity in the material world is by default selfish. It is just thinks about its own thing. survival of the fittest. But therefore, Krishna tells to Arjuna that yes, taking support of the survival of the fittest, being selfish. So one should understand that anyway the person is selfish, he will do his activities for his betterment, for his profit. So it should start with that. From karma kanda, from selfishness, he should move to selfishness for oneself, for one's family, for one's nation, for one's relatives, and everyone. Slowly, 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 person is selfish. That child what says, I want everything. If a big cake is given to him on the party, and there are two types of cakes kept. One cake is a cream, another cake is plain cake, and it's a twin. And both of them, what they want to do, both of them want to cut the cake which is having cream. So that is called as I want it. It's something like karma card. But okay, anyway, I'm going to get a non-cream cake. I'll cut it and let my brother cut a cream cake. That is something called as fine, little bit selfishness, selflessness. Anyway, my brother only I'm trying to give it. Even if I get little less than that, in family there are many disputes, there are a lot of land and other issues. So it tells okay, even if I get some 1 acre, 1 biga less, not an issue. Let my brother get something. It's not that he's not getting anything, he's getting, but something less is getting. That is one step above karma kand. That is karma yoga or sakama karma yoga. And then if I don't get anything, also not an issue. That kind of thought process detachment is called niskama karma yoga. But in this section 10 to 16, Krishna is saying from karma kand you move to karma yoga. So therefore, Krishna explains in verse 10 and 11, attaining happiness by sacrifice and cooperation between men and demigods is required. In Udu Yajna, men cooperate with the demigods and Lord Vishnu, and therefore there is happiness as a result for the whole world. And that 12 and 13, Lord Krishna mentions to Arjuna, one should eat food which is first offered in sacrifice, otherwise he's a thief. Like you are walking in a street, it's a hot summer street, and you have gone for some job interview or something like that, and you come across a bungalow and the sweet fragrance of lunch being cooked, and fortunately the smell, somebody has cooked and kept it on the dining table and nobody's inside the house. You go and knock, nobody's coming outside, but you're very hungry. You go get inside the dining hall and nobody's there. You search all the places, nobody is there in any of the rooms, and then you are hungry, and without informing what you do, you just sit there and you start having the food. And after some time, the owner comes in 5 minutes time in a car and it comes inside. So this is not your bungalow, it is somebody else's bungalow, and you are sitting there and trying to eat food without his notice. And then what happens is that when he comes, he becomes upset. This is my home and you are sitting and eating here. This is called as thief. That is what we are doing. This world which we are staying in, the land which you have got, the property of our ancestors, everything belongs to Lord Krishna or God. But just because we are coming in some virasat, we have got some land, it doesn't mean that it is ours. It's Krishna's, it's Lord's, and we can't steal it. Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatam Jagat. Ten Taktina Bhunjita Magrada Kashashvitanam. So, if you take permission of the owner, and then after that you go into a dining hall, and if he invites you, you eat it, then what happens is that you are not called a thief. But we first of all don't acknowledge God's existence. We think that we are independent, and without acknowledging God's existence, we are trying to take food, clothing, shelter, oxygen, and so many things from nature. Like once in somewhere in Italy or in France, somewhere in some European nation, one person who had got affected by COVID, and then he had to stay 2-3 days inside the hospital, and the bill which came out of oxygen cylinder which was given to him was worth 90,000 to 1 lakh rupees for 3 days. And then he started crying. So doctor started asking him, are you so poor that you can't pay this bill? Then why are you crying? So no, that is not the case, but I'm crying out of gratefulness for God because till now I'm 65, 70 years old. 70 years old, I never paid any money for oxygen which I'm breathing. But for last 3 days, I have to give 90,000 for the oxygen which had to survive for my life. So that means we have to become so grateful to the Lord. Therefore, Krishna is saying that before eating anything, we should offer everything. Yadya sishtashana santo muchyante sarvakilvishay bunjate tedzakam papa pachantyatmak karanat. Pachantyatmak karanat, atma karanat, oneself. Atma matlab oneself, karanat matlab one's own selfishness. People who cook food, what they do, bunjate tedzakam papa. Bunjate, bojna, भोजन करना. ते क्या भोजन करते हैं? पापम. जो खुद के लिए खाना पकाते हैं और भगवान को भोग चढ़ाए बिना खाते हैं, वो क्या खा रहे? पाप खा रहे. So Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, whatever we do, if we don't offer a sacrifice, whether it is eating food or anything for that matter, for our existence, we get infected by sinful action. So what one should do? Yajna Sishta Shana Santo. The Santas who are knowledgeable, who are intelligent, they become free of sin. How? Yajna Sishta Shana Santo Muchante Sarva Kilbishay. Uchante Sarva Kilbishay matlab they become free of sin by offering whatever they do for the pleasure of me, God. And that is what Krishna is mentioning in 12 and 13. So don't become a thief. Acknowledge the existence of God and start offering whatever you do for your own maintenance. First offer it to God and partake it. 14 and 16, Lord Shri Krishna is speaking about cycle of sacrifice. Life becomes sinful without sacrifice. So in 14, Lord Krishna is telling about Annad Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanya Danda Sambhava. Yadnat Bhavati Parjanyo Yadne Karma Samudbhava. I'll try to share the screen. It will become clear to all of you. So this is what we saw. See, this is what we saw. What the person is selfish eats only sin, and person who is selfless acknowledges Lord. He becomes free of sinful activities and he does yajna. Then he becomes pacified. Then all living bodies subsist on food grains. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavat. Annad bhavati bhutani. Annad, food grains. Bhavanti bhutani. The living entities, for them, the food is anna, that is grains. Parjanya Danna Sambhavat, but how grains grow? When one does yajna. When one does yajna to Lord Vishnu, from that yajna comes rains. And when rains fall on the land, right now it's the rainy season here, and all the soil has become wet. And at this moment, if you sow some grains here, it will start sprouting in 1 week time. So grains come from rains, and rains come from sacrifice. When one acknowledges God, and according to the Vedic literature, perform sacrifice. In Satyoga, it is meditation on Lord Vishnu. Dhyayato Treta Kratayam Dhyayato Vishnu Tretayam Yajate Makai Dvapacharyaya Kalau Tad Hari Sankirtanat. So in different yugas, there are different sacrifices. So what is the meaning of sacrifice? Sacrifice means you have something with you which you have worked by using your strength. You take out 50% to 25% to 50% of it and try to offer it for the pleasure of Lord according to the method prescribed in Vedic literature. That is called as sacrifice. Because whatever you're getting, it's like, somebody gives you a land and it does okay, grow the grains. 50% of you may grow the grains, but 50% of that grains which are going, you have to give to the owner. And 50% is for you, for reward for what you have done. So similarly, this whole life, this whole material world, this whole body, all relatives, everything we have got because of by the mercy of the Lord. And whatever you do, 50% belongs to Lord. It should be offered as sacrifice. But at least not 50 beginning with, at least should start with 10% to 15% to 20%. Then what happens? We can become peaceful in our life. The main reason we don't remain peaceful in our life because we are least bothered to offer anything in sacrifice for the pleasure of Lord. And therefore, to the degree we are holding it over everything, we have to become insecure and we have to partake the sinful reaction. So here the grains grow from the living entities depend on grains. The grains depend on rains. The rains depend on sacrifice for Lord Vishnu. And that sacrifice for Lord Vishnu is the essence of life, is a prescribed duty. So that is the first cycle. And the second cycle which is mentioned in the sloka is Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarva Gatam Brahma Nityam Yajna Pratishtitam. So therefore, sacrifice is based on regulated activities. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from Supreme Lord. And consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the acts of sacrifice. So when you do sacrifice, Lord Vishnu is pleased, and Lord Vishnu is pleased. Then the rains come on time, seasons come on time, everything season changes happen. Based on season changes, food grains grow. Based on the food grains, sumptuous food grains are there. Then the living entities can subsist. Cows can eat grasses, and then they can give milk. The milk which is coming from them can be boiled and drank by human beings. And the human being can get strength and till the land and sow the grains. When rains come, then the grains grow, rice paddy is grown, jawar is grown, wheat is grown, vegetables are grown, and they can mix pulses with milk and make so many hundreds and hundreds of items and be happy. And there is no need of any industry, there is no need of any company, there is no need of any slaughterhouses or packaging industries of meat and other things. Just by go Raksha Vanijyam, but cow protection and agriculture and can grow things on their own. So regulated activities are sanctioned in the Vedas. So this is a very important line here. What Prabhupada is speaking. In other words, yes, Vikram, can you read from here? Abhijit, can you read?
In other words, the Lord can speak through his breathing and he can impregnate by his eyes. In fact, it is said that he glanced over material nature and just fathered all living entities. After creating or impregnating the conditioned soul into the bomb of material nature, he gave his direction in the Vedic wisdom as to how much conditioned souls can return home back to the Godhead. We should always remember that the conditioned soul in material nature are eager for material enjoyment. But the Vedic direction are so made that one can satisfy one's perverted desires, then return to the Godhead, having finished his so-called enjoyment. It is a chance for the conditioned soul to attain liberations. Therefore, the conditioned soul must try to follow the process of Vyasnas while becoming Krishna conscious. Even those who have not followed the Vedic instructions may adopt the principle of Krishna consciousness, and that will take the place performance of Vedic yasnas or karmas.
Yes. So therefore, what is being told here is even if one is not following the Vedas, one can practice Krishna consciousness and one can try to perform the yajna. So this is till here what we have completed in the last section, and from here we'll continue now. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati ya aghayaur indriya ramo mogam partha save jivati. Yes, bro, continue reading. Translation.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifices, thus established by the Vedas, certainly lives life full of sin, living only for the satisfaction of the senses. Such a person lives in vain.
Yeah, yeah, 1 minute. So what is being mentioned here is a person who is aga ayu certainly leads a life full of sin, who does not do sacrifice for Vishnu, as mentioned in the Vedic literature. He lives a sinful life, and that means why he leads a sinful life? Because he likes he does what he likes, what his mind tells him, what senses like. His senses are their eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. There is hands, legs, and anus, rectum, and genital, and then there is all these things are pulling him in 10 directions, 15 directions, tan matras and indriyas, senses sense objects, and along with the uncontrolled mind. Why one doesn't want to follow others? Because since childhood, nobody has trained him to control the senses. Therefore, childhood training by mother to the woman is very important, and by the guru to the son, children, that means male, have to be sent to the gurukuls. So Gurukul has to, the guru and along with his wife, they have to teach, guru and guru mother should teach the young children, both boy and girl, in the childhood to control senses. If that doesn't happen, then what happens is the person rejects the Vedas and does his own sense gratificatory plan. So that is not encouraged here. Just to read the Parbat, the Mamonist philosophy of work.
The Mamonist philosophy of work, very hard and enjoy sense gratification, is condemned herein by the Lord. Therefore, for those who want to enjoy this material world, the above mentioned cycle of performing yasnas is absolutely necessary. One who does not follow such regulation is living very risky life, being condemned more and more by nature law. This human form of life is specifically meant for the self-realization in either of three ways, namely karma yoga, jnana yoga, or bhakti yoga. There is no necessary for easily following the performance of the prescribed yasnas for the transcendentalists who are above vice and virtue. Those who are engaged in the sense gratification require purification by the above mentioned cycle of yasnas performances. There are different kinds of activities. Those who are not Krishna conscious are certainly engaged in the sensory consciousness. Therefore, they need to execute pious work. The yajna system is planned in such a way that sensory conscious person was satisfied may satisfy their desire without becoming entangled in the reaction of sense gratification work. The prosperity of the world depends not on our own efforts, but on the background arrangement of the Supreme Lord, directly carried out by the demigods. Therefore, the yajnas are directly aimed at a particular demigods mentioned in the Vedas. Indirectly, it is practice of Krishna consciousness, because when one masters the performance of yajnas, one is sure to become the Krishna conscious. What if by performing yajnas one does not become Krishna conscious? Such principles are counted as only moral codes. One should not therefore limit his progress only to the point of moral codes. What should transcend then to attain Krishna conscious? Surrender unto me.
Yeah, this point that, but if by performing yajna, one does not become Krishna conscious, then it is only moral code. That means the purpose of yajna is that we come to point of taking up to bhakti to Krishna. Therefore, there are four types of yajna based for different yugas. In Satyuga, it is meditation on Lord Vishnu. Treta, it is a sacrifice for Lord Vishnu. Dwapar, it is elaborate temple worship of Lord Vishnu, and Kali Yuga, it is chanting of the holy names of Lord Vishnu. So the purpose of all is to become a devotee of Lord Vishnu. यस्तु आत्मरतिर् एव स्याद् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टस् तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. So section from 10 to 16 speaks about a personality called as Indriya Rama. So section verse number 10 to 16 speaks about Indriya Rama to Atma Rama. And from here it speaks about from 17 to 35 speaks about Atma Rama. So yastu atmaratireva atmatripta chamanava atmanyeva santushtasya tasya karyam na vidyate. So it's speaking about Atma Rama, atmatripta person. So Krishna explained so far that if one desires, then he may work with desire in a religious faith. Now I'll explain that even if one has no desire. Initially the question was what? Should I renounce or should I fight? So he spoke, okay, if you desire, you work. But Arjuna may think, I have no desire. Why should I work? Even if you don't have a desire, still work to set an example for others. So therefore, previous section 10 to 16 spoke about Indriya Rama, who is attached to work. And this section speaks about even a person who is not attached to work, he's Atma Rama, he's Atma Tripta. But still he should work. Why? Because others who are not Indriya Ramas, seeing him, they should not stop working. In order to set example for them. So that is the next section. Okay, just display the verse. Yes, Vikram, can you read the translation?
But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty.
Yeah. So section 10 to 16 spoke about a person who is still attached to material life. And therefore what he should do is, he should work so that he can purify his heart. But the section from 17 to 35 speaks about a person who is already purified. But he should still work so that he can set example for others who are less knowledgeable. So he does it as obligatory duties prescribed by the scriptures. He does not need to do prescribed duty for purification, is already purified, but still the person should work so that others will be inspired for him. That is section from 17 to 35. Okay, yes, to read the translation. Purport.
A person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his acts in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Due to his being Krishna conscious, all impiety within is instantly cleansed, an effect of many, many thousands of yajna performances. By such clearing of consciousness, one becomes fully confident of his eternal position in relationship with the Supreme. His duty thus becomes self-illuminated by the grace of the Lord, and therefore he no longer has any obligations to Vedic injunctions. Such a Krishna conscious person is no longer interested in material activities and no longer takes pleasure in material arrangements like wine, women, and similar infatuations.
Yeah. So this is speaking about a person who is already realized God, but he doesn't stop working. He continues working, serving the Lord, so that to teach others how they should do it. And therefore, the selfless persons, there are no discussions happening now here. Atma Rama Indriya Atma Tripta. Naiva tasya kritena arto na nakritene kashanah na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschit artha vipashraya. Yes, true. Read the translation.
As a self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being.
Yeah. So 17th and 18th verse, the section from 17, 18, 19 speaks about a self-realized soul need not work, yet he works. And 17, 18 speaks about self-realized person has no duty, but for one who takes pleasure in the self, Atmarati, is self-satisfied in the self, Atmatripta, fully satisfied in himself alone, Atmasantushta. These are three things: Atmarati, Atmatripta, and Atmasantushta. Satisfied in himself, he is taking pleasure in self, and he's satiated. He has nothing, he has no obligation to do any prescribed actions, no taste for material pleasures, no purpose or gain in performing such activities, no reason for not performing such a work. He is not attached to not doing work, and he is not attached to doing work. Whatever Lord wants, he will do it. No need to depend on any other living beings or demigods. He doesn't depend over dependent on anyone. He knows whatever Lord wants will happen. Basically, the way the wind blows, he blows. It's not like when wind is very nice, fair weather, therefore we are like, oh, God is so nice. When things don't go our way, we think, where is God? God doesn't exist. No. So good happens, you're grateful. When something so-called bad, which you think according to your understanding bad happens, still that person never thinks that is bad. He will tell it is my own karma, past karma, I'm getting purified. Okay. So what is the connection? So next verse. Can you read that answer? Purport proof quickly?
A self A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and expect activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man, or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation.
Yeah, he only depends on Lord. So, in the 17th verse, two qualities were mentioned of the self-realized man. Takes pleasure in the self, is self-realized, satisfied in self alone, and fully satiated. These are three things. And here, he has no purpose to fulfill the discharge of his prescribed duty, no reason not to perform work, and doesn't depend on other living entities. Six things are explained here. So, 19th. तस्मादासक्त सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर आसक्तो हि आचरं कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. Yes.
Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme.
Yeah. So one was a spiritual intelligence doesn't perform prescribed actions with desires. He has no desire. He doesn't perform actions with desires. He performs but does them without attachment to the result. He does it, but fruits he gets are not, he knows whatever Lord wants me to get, I'll get. But I'm not attached. I'll put my best because this is for the pleasure of the Lord. But once I've done it, the results what will happen? Lord, let me, whatever Lord gives me, I'll accept it, whether less or more, failure or success. And therefore, he is undisturbed. And to the results to set the right example for others. So he's attached to his only inclination is I should perform this duty and let me be peaceful and neutral in success or failure, happiness and distress. And by this, when others see that in success also is neutral, in failure also is neutral, good also is neutral, bad also is neutral, people think, okay, this is, I think this person is something different. I think we should go and associate with him. I think we should go and take his association and know from him how to do art of work from him. Okay. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of action, one should act as a matter of duty. By working dutifully with detachment, one can attain liberation of Supreme Lord. Okay, please read the purport too. Very important purport.
The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees and liberation for the impersonalist. A person therefore acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of the work is certainly making progress toward the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battle of Kurukshetra for the interest of Krishna because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment, but to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. That is perfect action of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Vedic rituals, like prescribed sacrifices, are performed for the purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reactions of good or evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the result but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kinds of activities but is completely non attached.
Okay. So therefore, work dutifully with detachment. That is 19th verse. Working dutifully with detachment. So there is no attachment, but still the person is dutiful. He does his best and leaves the rest to Krishna. This is the art of work of Bhagavad Gita. कर्मण्येव हि संसिद्धिम् अस्तिता जनकादय लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्या कर्तुमर्हसि. Yes, bro.
Can you scroll down a bit? Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work.
Yeah. So this speaks about setting right example. So Arjuna wonders if there are any examples of person who attained God consciousness by karma yoga. So Krishna told Atma Santushti, Atmarti, Atma Tripta, and he tells that these are the qualities, 6 qualities in 17 and 18. In 19th he says, okay, do dutifully but be detached. So Arjuna is thinking, is there any person who has done like this before? And immediately Krishna understands. Yes, Arjuna, don't think. There are many examples. So in 20 to 24, he starts telling about the right examples of work and starts quoting example of Janaka and others. So King such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performing prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating people in general, you should perform work. So setting example, that is 20th verse. Yes, read the purport.
Kings like Janaka were all self-realized souls, but consequently they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties in the Vedas. Nonetheless, they performed all the prescribed duties just to set examples for the people in general. Janaka was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Rama. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendently situated. But because he was the king of Mithila, a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but they fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the other party was determined to fight. So, for such a right cause, there is a necessity for fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. Experienced persons in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow, and this is explained in the following verses.
Okay, so Krishna is telling him the example, Janaka is example. Although he's self-realized, but he's working as obligation to set right example for others. So Krishna is telling that Janaka was doing it so that he can set example. Why he should set example? Because people in general see what the king is doing, and Arjuna is the commander of Pandava's army. And if he starts renouncing work, all the Kuru people, all soldiers will also start doing the same work. So people in general will follow the same thing. It will become pattern. So Bhagavata is being spoken in between Krishna and Arjuna. Whatever discussed, everybody is reading it. And therefore, if some wrong examples are set in Bhagavad Gita, people start doing it. People start blaming Bhagavad Gita for it. Therefore, Krishna is telling, whatever you do, when you're in responsible position as a father, as a guru, as a mother, as a teacher, do it without any attachment. Because the moment you're attached, you become selfish. When you're selfish, you do sinful activities. Therefore, do it with detachment. So why? Because yadyad achariti shreshtas tattadeva tarojana. Yadyad achariti shreshtas tadyad eva tarojana. Sayat pramana kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever you do, it becomes standard. People will quote you. Okay, so and so person did it. He did it, therefore I'm also doing it. When an owner of a company puts a manager and manager is taking many products freely to his home, then the employees who are there below him, they will also think, okay, many manager is taking, therefore we will also take. When manager takes, he knows that okay, nobody is seeing me, but he is also aware that yes, he is asking his people who are below him, supervisors and other people who are workers to pack. So he will surely know that others are watching me. So seeing that the manager is taking many of the products, packing it secretly, the workers who are doing, manager may tell, okay, fine, he will not tell anything, but he will not mind also if they also pack something, because he knows anyway I have packed, I cannot tell them not to pack, and they also pack and carry it, but manager will never chastise them. But if a manager is a strict manager, if somebody takes you on one pin, then he'll be removed from the job. Such companies are also there. Therefore, whatever the great person does, it is followed by the people in general. Lokasad anuvartate. Yes, we read the translation.
Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
Yes. So whatever actions a great man performs, common man follow, and whatever standards he sets by examples, all the world pursues. Can you read the purport?
People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastras to teach the common man. A teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of the revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and similar others are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leaders' teaching should be based on the principles of such standard shastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules as they are practiced by great teachers. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and in that way, and that is a way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of the state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with the standard books of moral and spiritual codes.
Yes. It's very important verse. It's a very important point here. Leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. Therefore, such leaders should be rejected. So Acharya means teacher, leading by example. If the leader is not setting standard, he should be rejected. Name partasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptyavyam vartaye cha karmani. Yes.
O son of Pratha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties.
Janaka and others are setting example, and after telling that why should I set example, people in general follow, and don't think that only great persons follow. Even I am supreme person of Godhead. Even when I appear in this material world, even I set an example. Although I have nothing to do. So that is the verse. This verse Krishna is quoting that do dutifully with detachment. Is there an example? Yes, many examples. Janaki quotes. Why? Because people follow, people imitate. Many things are caught then thought. What you speak doesn't matter, but what you're doing, that is what is followed. Third, even I, as God, try to do all these things. Also, I have nothing to do. Supreme Person of God is described in Vedic literature as follows: Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, Tam Devatanam Paramam Chadaivatam, Patim Patinam Paramam Parastad, विदामदेवं भुवनेषु मीड्यं न तस्य कार्यं करणं च विद्यते न तस्सामश्चवदीकशदशेत् परस्य शक्तिर्विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च. Yes, to read the translation.
The Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers and is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all the demigods and is the supreme dictator of all directors. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no greater than him, there is no one greater than him, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. Since everything is in full opulence of the Supreme Personal is in full opulence in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One must receive the results of work. One must receive the results of work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. And yet, Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulations of the revealed scriptures, he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures.
Yeah. So when Lord is beyond everything, like a prime minister, when there is a when his vehicle comes, there are so many 10 vehicles moving ahead him, 10, 15 vehicles behind him. His red signal also he can just cross it. So sometimes Lord may appear to be not following something, but Lord never does it regular thing that he still abides by scripture. So there is no duty sanctioned for the Lord. Here the Lord is called as absolute. What is the meaning of Lord is absolute? Lord is absolute means when a president puts a signature on the paper and gives and sends it to the cabinet ministers in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, president doesn't come personally there, but by signature everything, all the transactions happen, crores of money is sanctioned, and everything, all projects are running, golden quadrilateral highways are running, airports are being constructed, everything is being constructed. That means president has the autonomy or prime minister has the autonomy. By signature he can run everything. Similarly, Lord who is there in the spiritual world, he appears in his avatar, and he's not appearing as avatar, he has appeared as Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. His Bhagavad is not different from Lord appears in his own names. Like all of us have different names. When anybody calls us on phone and speaks with us, and you are hundreds of miles away, and somebody is in trouble and you're calling, you may not be able to help. But Draupadi was being ripped naked by all the Dushasana and party of Kauravas and Karna. But she called. She was in Hastinapur, present New Delhi, and somewhere near Indraprasth there. And Krishna was in Dwarka, which is presently at Gujarat. And when she called out, "Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Madhava, please protect me," that time Krishna immediately appeared there in the form of saris and wrapped, continuously provided tons and dozens and length of saris for protecting Draupadi. So that means Lord is absolute. When his name is uttered, Lord performs activities of protection for his dependent devotees. So that is the nature of the Lord. But the Lord still is bound by duty so that others will not set bad example, others will not quote his name and then do something blunder on him. Yadi hi navarteyam jatu karmani atandrita mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. Yes, bro.
For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path.
Yes, that means if it doesn't fail to perform, then the people also will fail to perform. Please read the translate purport.
In order to keep the balance of social tranquility for progress in spiritual life, there are traditional family usages meant for every civilized man. Although such rules and regulations are for the conditioned souls and not Lord Krishna, because he descended to establish the principles of religion, he followed the prescribed rules. Otherwise, the common man would follow in his footsteps because he is the greatest authority. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is understood that Lord Krishna was performing all the religious duties at home and out of home as a required householder.
Yeah. So one very important thing is here. I think I'll try to discuss it 23rd, 24th together. One important lesson which we can learn for our life. Utsideyurime loka na kuryam karma chedayam sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam ima praja. Yeah.
If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings.
Yeah. So here Krishna is addressing the concern of Varna Sankara, in which Arjuna has raised concern in first chapter 39 to 43rd verse. Same thing is being told here. So verse number 23rd and 24th says, I am God, I am setting an example. Janaka set example because people in general will follow. And if I fail to engage carefully in performing prescribed duty, Arjuna, what will happen? All men would certainly follow my path. They will also not do any activities. They will simply sit and sleep. All these worlds, the whole world will put to ruination because everybody will be becoming smugglers and rowdies and running behind as thieves and creating all kind of nuisance. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population because people will not follow dharma. Then what will happen? There will be one sankara. Men will run behind women and just not get married and just produce unwanted children. And I would be therefore destroy the peace of all living beings. And what will happen in that case? There is no rules and regulation. People for sense gratification will not work. They will not have any prescribed duty. There will be no varnashram, and simply there will be nonsense. There will be Varun Sankara, and there will be no peace in society. So now, one may have a question. When I read this section first time, okay, Lord sets example. Anything Lord does is just for example. Then why Lord is stealing the clothes of gopis? Why Lord is stealing butter from the gopis, elderly gopis? So why Lord is doing such wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan? And he is God if he does all those things and the people will imitate. Is it not the question? So that's the question I got. But then answer is that when Prime Minister is in the line, in the traffic, even when the red signal is there, he doesn't stop for it. He goes ahead. The lawmaker is beyond law. So Lord Krishna teaches us by performing prescribed duties. We also see that he sometimes acts independently of law to please his devotees. So while Lord does some things which are beyond our understanding, which are not to be taken as trademark for everyone, because he is doing it for the pleasure of his devotees. It's called Bhaktavatsala. Therefore, for the pleasure of his devotees, doing something. Such actions, however, are not to perform. Such actions are not meant for people in general. It is not to be performed by those who are inferior to him. That can be done. A prime minister can go in red traffic signal, also can cross the red traffic. But we can't do it because he has a position, he has a facility, he has got a responsibility. So what we learn from this is two things: Anukaran and Anusaran. Anukaran is we imitate. Anusaran is following in footsteps. So now what is speaking? Lord is speaking that whenever I come many maximum time, Lord sets standards because he acts like a human being. Set standard. Dharma sthapana hetu. But also he appears Paritranaya sadhunam vinachaya dushkatam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yoge. Paritranaya sadhunam. He comes to reciprocate with his devotees. So Lord appears. He wants to associate with devotees. He wants to relish bhakti. He wants to please them. He wants to perform all those activities. But doing that acts, Lord experiences his Ishwaratvam. He is not Jiva. He is Ishvara. And Ishvara is Supreme Ishvara. He is Parama Ishvara. He is beyond all traffic signals and everything. Like president crosses the traffic signal, or whenever president can go, prime minister can go with helicopter anywhere and everywhere. Nobody can stop him because he has that thing. So Lord uses his Param Tattva feature for relishing bhakti with his pure devotees. But that cannot be taken as an imitation by all of us. See, Lord is doing that. Lord is dancing with the gopis in Rasala. We can also dance. But then, if you want to really imitate, then Lord also lifted Govardhan hill. He showed his Parama Tattva, his greatness. So you also lift the Govardhan hill. First qualify yourself. So Lord did it, I am also do it. Then people tell I am also God. Okay, you are God, then prove you are God. You drink poison. and see whether Lord drank, the fire, whole forest fire, and he was alive. He lifted Govardhan hill for 7 days, 7 nights, still he was alive. Lord did so many of the activities which are superhuman, and he was alive, and therefore he's doing, because his God is doing all these different leelas. But people don't want to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, but they want to imitate him. They want to drink, quoting, Shiva drinks Datura, and therefore the Shiva drinks this bhang, and therefore he also drink bhang. But Lord Shiva drank even halal poison also. He also drink halal poison. Therefore, great personalities like Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna can perform superhuman activities for the pleasure of his devotees. Like especially Lord Krishna can do different Vrindavan pastimes. But to do that, we should also qualify to be God, and we are not God. And therefore, we have to stay in our limit. Shastras are meant for normal living entities. But still, Lord, even though being God, he crosses his limits and tries to set standard. And this is very nicely explained by Prabhupada in this purport. If you read his purport, things will be clear. I think Prabhupada mentioned this purport. We'll end with this purport. Yes, Prabhu.
Varnashankara is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of the general society. In order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. When Lord Krishna descends, naturally he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. The Lord is a father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore, whenever there is general disregard of regulative principles, the Lord Himself descends and corrects the society. We should, however, note carefully that although general regard of the regulative principles, all we should, however, note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate Him. Following and imitating are not on the same level. We cannot imitate the Lord by lifting Govardhan Hill as the Lord did in His childhood. It is impossible for any human being. We have to follow in his instructions, but we may not imitate him at any time. The Srimad Bhagavatam affirms. One second, I'm getting
Navin
a
Prabhu, can you
noise.
mute yourself? Naita samachare jatu manasapi hi anishwarah vinashyati acharan maudyat yataruda dijam visham ishwaranam vacha satyam tataiva charitam kvachit tesham yat svavacho yuktam buddhimam statsma samacharet. Yes.
One should simply follow the instructions of the Lord and his empowered servants. Their instructions are all good for us, and any intelligent person will perform them as instructed. However, one should guard against trying to imitate their actions. One should not try to drink the ocean of poison in imitation of Lord Shiva. We should always consider the position of the Ishwaras, or those who can actually control the movements of the sun and moon, as superior. Without such power, one cannot imitate the Ishwaras, who are super powerful. Lord Shiva drank poison to the extent of swallowing an ocean, but if any common man tries to drink even a fragment of such poison, he will be killed. There are many pseudo devotees of the Lord Shiva who want to indulge in smoking ganja, marijuana, and similar intoxicating drugs, forgetting that by so imitating the acts of the Lord Shiva, they are calling death very near. Similarly, there are some pseudo devotees of Lord Krishna who prefer to imitate Lord in his Rasalila or or dance of love, forgetting their inability to lift Govardhan Hill. It is best, therefore, that one not try to imitate the powerful, but simply follow the instructions. Nor should one try to occupy their post without qualification. There are many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme God. Prabhuji, you are on mute, Prabhuji, sorry.
Majority of the time, Supreme Lord sticks to Shastras, but he has come to reciprocate with his devotees also. So he uses the power of Param Tattva and reciprocates the Lord for the reciprocates with his devotees by performing different activities which cannot be digested by people in general. And therefore, because even Lord Krishna performs prescribed duties, A person who is establishing knowledge, jnana, also should work to set right example. One can avoid sinful reactions in such a work by doing it detachment. So to the degree we are attached to some work, we will commit sinful activities. But to the degree we become detached, we can become free of sin. So this is what we discussed till now, verse number 24. And the next section is attached worker and detached worker, karma kandi and karma yogi. And we'll be discussing mostly, I think Vikram will discuss it in the next section. Okay. If anybody has any questions, doubts, and queries, you can put it forward. Any comments? I will try to end now. Okay, Vikram Prabhu, we'll conclude now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So what we discussed today was Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga from 10 to 16, and then from 17 to 24 we saw that even if one is not having any desire, still he has to work so that to set example for others. And example of person who has no desire, he's Atma Santushta, Atma Tripta, Atma Ratihi. And then what are the how he works? He works beautifully without detachment. And Arjuna is confused. Arjuna starts thinking, so Krishna understands his mindset and tells, yes, there are examples. Janaka is example. Although he was self-realized, he performed activity for others to follow. Although he was a father-in-law of Rama, he was father of Sita, still he did obligatory works to set stand for others. Why he has to do? Because people in general will see the king and try to follow his footsteps. And then even Krishna tells that even I do, when I appear, I also perform some prescribed duty. Although nothing is natasya karyam karanam siddhyate swabhaviki prakriti kriyacha. That is from Vishnu Puran. So automatically everything gets happened, but still Lord also does his activities. He sticks to scriptures apart from pleasing devotees. So therefore, seeing such activities of the Lord where he's pleasing devotees, one should not try to imitate it, because one should understand the Param Tattva of Lord and understand that the Ishwaras have the potency to perform some activities, that is their liberty, and there is God. Because of being God, they can do that. But we as Jivatmas, we are subjected to nature. If you do it, we will succumb to sinful activities and reactions and we will suffer for it. Therefore, a Lord's pastimes with the devotees should not be imitated. And if you want to imitate, then also we should qualify by lifting Govardhan and drinking halal poison. We cannot quote Lord Shiva for drinking bhang, and he also drank ganja, so he should drink ganja. He also drank halal, therefore if you drink, you will die. So similar Lord Krishna, if you Govardhan, if you lift, you will die. So therefore, we should know that they are supreme controllers and we cannot imitate them. अनुकरण नहीं करना चाहिए, अनुसरण करना चाहिए. उन्होंने वेद में जो दिया है उसको पालन करने से हम अपना जीवन सफल कर सकते हैं. जो सेक्शन है 10-11 से लेके 25, from 10 to 16 tells about karma kand to karma yoga. From 17 to 24 it tells about this thing, that yes, don't imitate, follow Vedas. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. If you are not having questions, we'll try to end it here.